Hello, my name is Leah. I'm a writer and a freelance editor, and here on this channel I talk about my writing process and my journey to becoming traditionally published. Today though, I'm going to talk a little bit about Authortube, specifically my journey in going from 0 to 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully for those of you who are considering starting a channel or maybe just did start one, that this video can provide some encouragement, maybe some insight on how that process went for me and some tips for you. I have two little disclaimers up front. The first one is that while yes, I have reached 1,000 subscribers, I am not monetized actually. I have not met the 4,000 watch hours requirement, which is also a threshold that you have to meet. I know a lot of Authortubers don't have a problem with this because they do more live streams, but that's just something that I haven't really done on my channel. So I'm about 300 watch hours away. If you want to help a girl out, watch this video to the end. And then my second disclaimer is also just that Authortube is such a specific and small niche that it kind of affects a new channel in two ways. Number one, it kind of has an upper limit for maximum growth just based off of the small amount of people that are watching Authortube videos. But while there is a maximum cap, it also sort of facilitates stronger initial growth because you're not fighting with as many voices. There's not as many other videos that are out there that are covering the same sort of things that you are. So it's not like you're gonna get lost in the crowd a lot less than you would in a different YouTube niche or topic. Of course, no matter what channel you're making, it's going to take a while to grow from 0 to 1,000 or beyond. It's taken me personally over a year to get to this point, but that can segue us into our next topic, which is my story here on YouTube. Technically, I started my channel on August 24th of 2014, but that was definitely just used for viewing and not actually creating videos. I didn't start creating videos until the summer of 2018. My idea then was just kind of to create whatever I wanted. I did do a lot of book videos. I did a lot of ukulele covers because I had a ukulele and I thought for some reason that singing on the internet was a good idea. And just some other random stuff. All of those videos are gone from this channel now. I actually can't even go back and look at them because I think I deleted them at one point. In hindsight, I wish I had just unlisted them, but that's a whole different story. In that era of me just kind of making whatever I want, I was being very sporadic. I didn't have any sort of upload schedule. If I had to put a number on it, I was probably posting like 1 or 2 videos a month, and it was just kind of whenever I felt like it. I was just kind of doing it for fun. I wasn't really doing it with the intent to grow a channel. So my first year of posting videos, it took me the whole year to earn my first 100 subscribers, which is such a small number for having done it for a whole year. Granted, again, I wasn't posting weekly. It wasn't like a super big commitment. It was just kind of like a whenever I felt like it deal. So it wasn't like I was working super hard to have that be just like a super disappointing number. But that brings us to the summer of 2019. Now, I know leading up to this summer, it had been a while since I posted. On May 25th of 2019, I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this a little bit more regularly and I'm gonna start a booktube channel. So on May 25th of 2019, I posted my first booktube video, kind of narrowing in on that niche of YouTube. I still wasn't consistent, but I was posting probably about every other week. Still not on a set schedule, but trying to be a little bit more intentional about it without like pressuring myself into a weekly schedule. Horribly, looking back on my stats for that time, I lost subscribers in the following year. So on May 25th, 2019, when I posted that first like booktube style video, I had 111 subscribers, and then on the same day in 2020, I had 99. So clearly it wasn't a super fruitful endeavor. I do remember being very discouraged because I was sort of just plateauing the whole time. That also caused me to lose motivation for the channel and not really keep up with it. I posted fairly consistently in the summer, a little bit more sporadically in the fall, and then like only a few videos in the spring of that year. Barely any in summer 2020 because we all know how that was. And also it was the summer that I got married. So it was just a busy, mentally stressful time for me. But that brings us to the start of this Authortube channel. So all of this has been happening on this channel, but I consider my start on Authortube to be October 8th of 2020. That was the first writing related video I posted with the intent of continuing to post writing related content on a regular basis. So ever since then, I have been posting about weekly. There have definitely been a few weeks that I've missed, but for the most part, I've been sticking to that schedule of uploading on Thursdays. And here are a few other stats from this past a little bit over a year on Authortube. Since that October 8th, 2020 date, I've gained 999 subscribers. I've accumulated 48,000 views and 9.3 thousand watch hours, which again, I need to hit that 4,000 threshold in order to be monetized, but that is within the past 365 days. So while that number is getting very close to 4,000, technically in the past 365 days, I've, I think, reached about 3.7. And all of that as a result of the 60 videos that I posted between then and around when I hit 1,000 subscribers, which was, I think, January 13th of 2022. So all of that is just to give a little bit of context of where I'm coming from in terms of my history with this channel and a little bit about YouTube in general, how I've sort of progressed through taking Authortube a little bit more seriously and being consistent with my content, and how those things have sort of led me to where I am today. Now though, enough about me. I want to share with you some lessons that I've learned in this past year of Authortube that I think might be of value to you as well if you are thinking about starting a channel. Number one, for me, the biggest thing and the biggest lesson that I have learned is to post consistently. This is something that I have like a direct comparison of my before versus my after for. My initial attempts at starting a channel, you know, I was posting inconsistently. Even if I gave myself some sort of schedule, like X amount of videos per month, the fact that they were kind of sporadic just like didn't help YouTube know if I was serious about this or not, if that makes sense. There are some, I think, niches on YouTube that facilitate more spread out videos than others. I think for Authortube specifically, there are enough people that are posting like 2 or 3 times a week that you kind of have to do something like on a weekly basis, whether that's posting a video, doing a live stream, etc. There are, of course, exceptions. That's not like a hard and fast rule. Just because you don't do that weekly doesn't mean that you're not gonna grow, because you absolutely can. But for me, that consistency, I think, is the biggest factor in seeing my channel grow over the past year-ish. My second tip is to hone in on a particular niche or topic. Now, I know I just called Authortube a niche, but there's different things that you can do even within Authortube. You could make how-to videos, you can make vlogs, you can make personal experience videos, writing experience, reading crossover, live streams, example writing, analyzing work. Like, there's so much that you can do even within the tiny Authortube umbrella. But I would say hone in on just 2 or 3 things that you're wanting to do on Authortube and just stick to those, especially at the beginning, because again, it just kind of helps tell YouTube what your channel is. And then from there, you can add in a little bit more diversity and start reaching a wider audience as you grow. This video right here is technically actually breaking that rule for myself, because I tend to, on my channel, focus on writing vlogs and sharing personal experience-based advice. So I'm not making how-to videos, but I'm making, here's how I sorted through my beta feedback in order to make my next draft. My niche is not talking about Authortube, and so this video is breaking the rule, but I say break the rule when you really want to talk about something, if it doesn't actively hurt your channel, if that makes sense. So those videos, the vlogs and the experience videos, those are the ones that are growing my channel. This video isn't going to grow my channel, but it's not going to actively hurt my channel either. It's not going to cause people to unsubscribe because they see it and it's not something that they're interested in. You also have to be careful, I think, in drawing in the wrong audience, which this is actually why I stopped making videos about my freelance work, specifically about Fiverr. So my most viewed video on my channel so far is my first month on Fiverr video, and it has, I think at this point, 25,000 views, which is a lot of views. The problem is, none of those are people that are Authortube people. They're not people that are staying on this channel and being retained. And if they are, it's people who are subscribing to me trying to get a subscribe back. So it's not really growth related to the actual things that I want to be talking about. YouTube is still pushing that video. My graph on my analytics, normally you see kind of like a leveling out, but this one's just kind of like a straight line. Like it's still getting recommended to people. I'm still getting new comments. I'm still getting new views, but they're not the comments and the views that I'm looking for. And it did skew my channel for quite a while. I was having trouble getting the videos that I wanted to make out there because YouTube was like, okay, cool. You make videos about Fiverr now. You make videos about freelance video editing for some reason, because I think my keywords in that title have drawn in the I want to freelance video edit crowd and the I want to make money fast on the internet crowd. It's just been a whole thing. All that to say, one way to grow your channel in the way that you are wanting it to grow and in the space you're wanting it to grow is just to be really intentional about what videos you're putting out there, narrowing in on that niche. And when you sidestep out of that, maybe intentionally trying to draw in a separate audience in order to, boost that, but try to draw it in a way that's like related. Like, I think targeting BookTube would be a much better, it's more closely related to Authortube than, say, the freelance hustle culture side of YouTube. The third thing that I have done that I think would be really helpful for you if you're just starting a channel is to look at other channels that are doing similar things to what you want to do. Not to copy, but to be able to look at what they're doing and learn the lessons that they're probably learning without having to go through it yourself. So for example, you can look at a channel, sort by most popular, and see which videos that they're posting that are the most popular. Sometimes when you do that, you're gonna get videos from like 4 years ago and see, okay, this person was peaking 4 years ago, so these videos aren't really on trend anymore. It's a good place to find inspiration and video ideas, and it's also a good place to research my next tip, which is to get good at titles and thumbnails. This is like pretty standard YouTube advice, so I'm not going to talk about it very long. I feel like everyone knows this, but I have twofold advice here. Stick within the Authortube niche, see what titles and what thumbnails are working within Authortube specifically, and then branch out of Authortube into other niches, maybe completely unrelated, and see what sort of titles and thumbnails are working for those. If those channels, in terms of style or maybe the vibes of the person who's running the channel, like for example, if you make really quippy, funny, like quick cut videos on your Authortube channel, maybe try finding people that do that in other niches as well. Again, and see what they're doing for their titles and thumbnails, because you're both, while you're in separate niches at that point, you're both kind of drawing the same sorts of people. And you want to be able to brand yourself in that way. So that's my quick twofold advice on titles and thumbnails. My fifth advice is to not buy any equipment. Don't invest in your Authortube channel until you reach a threshold that feels comfortable to you. For me, that threshold was 1,000 subscribers, and so I did just recently buy this camera. But before that, no matter how much I wanted to, even if I had money in the bank to go buy a camera, I was like, Leah, you're not buying a camera. And the reason for that is because I wanted to prove to myself that I could do this long term, that this is something that I wanted to stick with, and that this is something that actually has potential in it, and it's not just kind of like an idealistic waste of my time, if that makes sense. So it's not only a personal test, it's like a test for the channel itself, like if this channel just wasn't growing, if I hadn't reached 1,000 subscribers, I know that this is something that either I just have to keep working on, or something that's just not going to produce what I'm hoping that it will produce later in the future. And I say this too because there are so many ways to produce good quality videos without having to purchase like any new equipment. All of my videos up to this point have been filmed on my iPhone. 90% of the time, I just film next to a window in order to get good lighting. For sound, if you have the ability, try to turn off your AC or your heater just to like eliminate some of that background noise and make it quieter. But again, your phone probably has a good enough mic on it. DaVinci Resolve, phenomenal editing software, and it's free. There's a pro version of it, but I've just been using the free version this whole time. I came from Adobe Premiere, which again is paid through the Creative Cloud packages, and I love Premiere. I was so sad when I lost my school's like free license of it. I had used DaVinci Resolve for coloring in my film classes, and so I knew there was a free version of it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure you could edit off that software too. Downloaded it, It's been phenomenal. It can do like everything that Premiere can do, but just for free. But trust me, use that. Don't use iMovie. Use that. Especially for like text stuff, use DaVinci Resolve. You don't need to invest your money into equipment until, again, you've given yourself maybe a time limit of, I'm gonna do this for 6 months, I'm gonna do this for a year, and if I'm still consistent with it, and it's something that I love, then maybe I can invest. Or once I reach 1,000 subscribers, then I'll invest. I think that's a way to kind of not only like protect yourself in terms of not wasting money, but also to kind of force yourself to think out of the box when you're making videos. And if you're running into things that are limiting you, forcing you to learn how to make good videos without the aid of expensive equipment that's going to make that a lot easier. It's just going to make you a better video maker in general. My next tip, I don't know what number we're on, but don't waste time analyzing your thumbnails, your titles, and your like channel art branding stuff at the very beginning. I know I just said get good at thumbnails and titles, but when you're initially starting, my best advice is literally just to sit in front of the camera and make your videos. Like, you can spend so much time trying to design the perfect cover art, but what you're not getting in that time is the experience and the practice of sitting in front of a camera and talking, because it's weird, especially when you first start out. Like, you're gonna have to work on it in order to get natural and feel natural in front of the camera. Your time at the very beginning is much better spent just getting your initial videos out there. You're not gonna grow with them because they're gonna be crap, but they lay the foundation for your future videos, which are going to be better, which are going to grow your channel. And as that starts to happen, I think that's when you take a step back to look at like the channel art, the thumbnail, the titles, all of that sort of stuff. One thing I'm not good at, but I'm working on, and it's something that I think no matter how big or small your channel is, you could benefit from, is including a call to action in your videos. So speaking of, if you are liking this, please like and subscribe. I just hate doing that so much, and so I just don't do it in any of my videos. But your call to action doesn't necessarily need to be the like and subscribe. It can be other things too. Like, if you have a website, you can say, I've linked it down below, go check it out. Maybe your call to action is go follow me on Instagram. It's just a way to prompt not only your channel growth, but your growth on other platforms as well. Someone on Authortube that I think has done really well on this is Zara Hoffman with her Ko-fi. She's not making money on YouTube yet, but she's making money on Ko-fi because she's so good at putting content over there and then calling her YouTube audience / her Twitch live stream audience to be like, go check out my Ko-fi, I have things over there for you. So those are kind of my biggest tips for Authortuber beginners. Again, I'm kind of specifically talking about the Authortube niche specifically, but a lot of these do apply to other YouTube niches. I hope that hearing my story with all of that and kind of the lessons that I've learned because of it was helpful for you. If it was, let me know down below. If you are also an Authortuber and have any tips for beginners, leave those down below as well so they can find them easily. But other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again soon. Bye!